Yo, what is going on, guys? It is your boy McGilligan here, and today, where I work, all of our stores are very good about like helping each other out. I was asked if I was willing to cover for another store so that the entire store can go to a wedding, and I was like, yeah, sure, I'll do that. Sounds good to me. I get scheduled to go to the store. I show up, having a great time. The guy that I'm working with, I didn't know anybody that I was working with, and I get really awkward if I don't know who I'm working with. Each store is run so different, so I don't know, I just was uncomfortable with where I was. Day goes on, and it's just me and the closing manager. Time's going by good. He and I are having a good time. He was helping out a customer, and then another customer came in while he was walking to like the front to help the lady that he was originally helping. So we're gonna call this lady Susan. He walks away from Susan, and then let's just call this other girl Betty. Betty walks in with her dog to ask a question. So he goes to help Betty real quick while walking up to the counter to also help Susan. So Susan gets a little upset. I can see her like just by like the body language and seeing that he was like kind of ignoring her. She kind of like looked at her and it was whatever, you know. He's like, hey, will you go help her, because helping with Betty ended up being a little longer than what he expected. So I said, okay. I walk over to Susan, introduce myself. I'm just like, hi, I'm Logan. What seems to be the problem? She looked at me as if I was something from another dimension. I don't know. So the conversation starts out and she goes, well, basically my dog has a yeast issue. I was like, okay. So really quick, at my job, I'm like an animal nutritionist, but I also like just help out with like all around well-being of animals, naturopathic techniques, I guess you can say. She comes up and she's like, my dog is having some yeast issues. And I was like, oh, okay, sounds good. So she goes, do you guys have a medicated shampoo? So I told her we can't even carry it because we aren't licensed professionals. Like, we just get training through our company, you know, to do our thing and to just know what we know. And so she's like, you're telling me that you guys don't carry medicated shampoo? I was like, no, ma'am, I'm sorry. She looks at me as if she just found the fucking true meaning of Christmas through my eyeballs. I don't even know. And she does this like smile, but it's like a creepy smile. Like, it wasn't like a happy to see this conversation, you know? So I was like, okay, kind of weird. Stare at her, and she goes, so you're telling me that you don't even have medicated shampoo? She looks at me and goes, well, okay. I just want you to know, I have spent thousands upon thousands of dollars to figure out that my dog has a yeast issue. I was like, oh, well, I'm sorry I had to spend that much money to figure it out. She goes, yeah, so I don't appreciate when I come in here for you guys to just feed me some bullshit. I'm like, whoa, ma'am, excuse me? She looks at me and goes, yeah, you guys need to work on how you guys treat your customers and don't lie to them. Ma'am, you asked if we had medicated shampoo, right? She goes, yeah. And I was like, okay, we don't carry that. She looks at me and goes, then what's this? And she picks up one of our shampoos and just like puts it so close to my face. And I was like, that's a shampoo that is all natural. She goes, this is something that I read online. That's the healthiest option for yeast issues. I was like, oh, well, that's good you found it. You know, like, just trying to diffuse the situation at this point because clearly she came in to argue. And she keeps going and talking about how she spends all this money on everything. And I'm like, oh, okay, you know, just like half listening, doing my like, you know what I mean? Just like nodding your head. She goes, so my dumbass vet has spent $3,000 of my dollars to tell me that this shampoo right here for $12.99 is the cure to what she had. And I was like, sure. Like, okay, 3,000, you know, seems a lot to me too. But, you know, at that point, you kind of deserve it because you're a dumb bitch. She looks at me and goes, yeah, so I'm gonna purchase this. And I was like, okay, sounds good. So I walked to the counter and she goes, no, not from you. And I said, oh, okay. So I grabbed the closing manager and I explained to him that she doesn't want me to check her out. And he goes, oh, okay, thinking it's kind of weird. So she goes to leave and she goes, I'm glad I found this. And I said, oh, yeah, I'm glad you are too. Like, you have a solution. She goes, yeah. You know what I'm not glad about? And I said, what's up? She goes, that dildos like you work here. I got called a dildo. I got called a fucking dildo. I got called a rubber penis. I got called a sex toy. What the fuck? And I went, oh, interesting. Because like I didn't know what to fucking say. And so I was like, oh, interesting. And then she looks at the closing manager and goes, you really need to work on not hiring dildos like this guy. And his jaw is just dropped. She gets all up on her mighty high horse and just fucking walks out. So I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Let's smash 150 likes on it for me. You guys have been killing it. If you guys like these kind of stories and stuff, let me know. They're so fun to make. I have so many crazy stories. So if you guys want to hear them, let me know. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's been your boy McGilligan. Peace.
Sup, Gilli?
No!